Legit to quit.
Hey.
Ah.
Oh, we're back.
Ah.
Once again. I don't want to sing Return of the Mac because then I have to sing and we don't want that. No singing in the champagne room.
I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in the champagne room. Well, first of all, the fact that you're referring to that shit as the champagne room. I'm not sure when was the last time that was referred to as the champagne room, but at this point, we might as well just call it the room of champagne.
Champagne room? But then we owe Futurama royalties.
No, we don't, because they never had a champagne room.
That's true. He just said it.
You know what I'm saying?
He said it. You gotta open your own place with a champagne room.
Well, we gotta get some champagne before we start pagging.
True indeed. Well, here in the champagne room, we're gonna do ourselves another episode of the Triple P. Welcome back to the Perfect Quest podcast, ladies, gentlemen, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and of course, the schmizmars, as always.
And, you know, all the glip-glops, the flip-flops, and the mollywops.
Coming to you on a somewhat brisk, what day is this now? All days are blurring together. Monday morning.
It's Monday morning. Most of y'all are probably trying to either get ready for work or maybe you at work already right now. But
or hitting the snooze alarm when the alarm went off to get ready to go to work.
Yeah, getting that last 10
minutes.
That last 5. Don't feel well ain't gonna do shit, but maybe it will.
It'll improve the mood. Like sometimes it helps.
You know, sometimes that hopefully that bacon, egg, and cheese is hitting. If you don't like that swan, hopefully that vegan bagel you eating is hitting.
Yeah, or that like pepper omelet, you know, or whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that caramel macchiato is hitting for you. Or shit, maybe just that fresh cup of Joe from Dunkin' Donuts.
Real hot. Brace you against the challenges of life.
You know what I'm saying? With a nice French cruller or a French tickler. That's your fancy.
So, welcome back to this latest chapter of the season of the Wolf and Snake.
Oh, no, we in the season of the snake now, so...
I thought we were just counting it all in one vast, like, chunk or whatever.
No, I mean, the wolf, the season of the wolf has been over for some time.
Well, I guess considering it's my season now, fall is my favorite season after all. We've been gone a while, even though the episode count won't reflect this, to give you a peek behind the curtain, because I got COVID again, as y'all recall, for those who are dedicated lore followers. So let me tell you guys, that shit's been kicking my ass. It's been really hard to edit or have the energy to do anything beyond work and sleep and, you know, other extracurriculars. But yeah, like we basically got a nice chunk for you coming through in addition to this episode. So, you know, by the time you get to this part, you'll be like, oh, I see why things were released the way they were released.
That's the way it goes.
You know, welcome to our on-air production meeting right now. But yeah, for us in real time, we'd been gone for a while. The bandit went on an excursion, and I pretty much tried not to die from returning to work. So we're glad to have you back. We're glad to be here for you. There are certain things afoot. I feel like thematically we should continue on our theme of powerful men in sports and sports entertainment, kind of just getting away with shit or having a legacy of getting away with shit, but are now being brought to the light, at least to the public light. Fandoms of these men or fandoms of the places that these men travel in knew stuff about these people already, but I don't know. It seemed like an interesting topic, so I figured we go from there and then maybe talk a little foosball since the season started, and we definitely set it up in previous episodes.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, man. Well, back in the day it was the pigskin. These days, I believe it's something a little bit more synthetic, or
it's like leatherish, polyurethane.
Yeah, it should have maybe something a little bit more organic. Who knows? But there's a different flow, a different vibe, and a different pheromones that are in the air during football season. I don't know what it is. They say that the fall season is very romantic. It's kind of a weird combination, romanticism and football, but at the same time, that is what the shit is about. There's a lot of romanticism and
love, devotion. It's called cuffing season for a reason, right? It's not just. I
mean, it's love and it's damn sure a whole lot of lust. Hopefully, there's not a lot of stabbings going on, but when certain individuals talk about love, that is involved.
Some stabbings may follow suit. It's only week 2, no stabbings yet, except for people clubs who've suffered major injuries.
I mean, it's been a very exciting 2 weeks, so I don't know about stabbings, but there may have been some relationships that may have ended based upon these last 2 weeks.
Certainly. Or, like we saw earlier with the touching Bears fan being consoled by his Green Bay fan girlfriend being like, "It's okay, baby. Like, it's okay. You'll get us next time."
Well, yeah, she was pretty thick, so.
She was. He didn't look too sad.
No, he didn't look very mad. It is still early in the season.
Well, like we always do, what storylines intrigue you about this season? We were kind of talking about this off air lightly, but now that we're on the stage, not like what tickles you, not so much what tickles ESPN or everyone else, but what do you care about besides fantasy?
That I would like to save for a little bit later, but
oh, look at the suspense! Look at the masterful dodge there.
Not even that, because honestly, I can say I'm not excited about anything.
Oh shit! The swerve.
No, it's just not.
Nothing?
No, like it's too early. I can't be excited, and shit is still trying to figure its way out. Maybe like by the time Halloween, November comes around, then we can start talking about shit. But right now, like there's a lot of wham bams and thank you names, so can't be excited about that because we don't know what we're really dealing with this season. If anything, I'll say this much: these last 2 weeks have they've kind of seemed more like college football than anything, but. Yeah, like I said, with the analysis, I'd rather save that for later.
Excellent setup. Well done. Well, that said, I guess we're just gonna go into the main thing. What inspired this kind of topic, besides obviously talking about Vince McMahon for the last 2.5 episodes or so, and what he's been doing and getting away with, and all the to use the president's word, malarkey going on. Robert Sarver, who is notorious, and I have definitely lambasted at length on the show a few times before. I will definitely also recommend that you go watch that old lady tear him apart famous video at the Phoenix Town Hall that one time, where she's like, he's a cheap piece of shit, basically, which he is. There's a reason why they keep getting so close and can't get over the hump, besides CP. But Yeah, Robert Sarver, I guess I have to say allegedly, even though they have this dude dead to rights. Are the feds investigating him too? Or is that
Not
not?
right now.
So is the league doing an internal investigation?
No. Right now, again, they seem to be set on what they gave him, which is 1 year suspension and $10 million fucking fine. But as far as I know, they aren't looking for any real legitimate outside investigation, just because ultimately they felt like it wasn't enough evidence or enough to go on to really pursue that. Now, look, if more evidence and information comes out, then they may do that. But as of right now, no. It's just a slap on the wrist, right?
Man, I wonder often what it takes to warrant a federal investigation. Besides, I guess, stealing a lot of money. Even though I'm not saying you should prosecute everybody who's a fucking jerk as an owner or someone like that. I don't know. We in the production meeting we talked about Donald Sterling because that's the obvious comparison that everyone's making, and how quickly they made sure to basically get rid of him, make him sell the team.
Yeah.
And I understand why in that case, because one, you talked about a beloved basketball figure in Magic Johnson, and you had the recording. Like, there was no way you could massage that.
And the fact that the team was basically about to pretty much boycott and strike against this man. And that ultimately that's what it comes down to. There was way more visuals and way more concrete evidence in regards to Donald Sterling.
Yes.
With Sarver is more of just I don't want to say he say she say, but
well, for now it's hearsay. Not that I want
for them, but, I mean,
which is not. I don't want to disbelieve any God, accusers is the wrong word. Victims, alleged victims.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but that seems to be what happens with this man repeatedly. Whether it's bad business decisions, being cheap, running the team terribly.
He's somebody that clearly doesn't know how to read the room. Man.
Yeah, or is one of those guys. We both in our Securitales and our line of work have dealt with people who, no matter how rich they are, they just won't get out of their own way. They will not cede control or feel like they have to compromise with people because of who they are. And this guy seems one of those. I don't know. Do you make him leave the league? If you're Adam Silver and you're waving the magic wand, your fantasy booking, do you make him quit? Do you make him sell the team?
Well, Adam Silver can't make him do anything.
I'm aware. I'm just saying with the magic powers, like somehow you find some damning evidence or some shit like that.
Well, honestly, it seems like Adam Silver wanted to do more, but he couldn't. If we're being honest.
He didn't have enough, like you said.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. And I mean, ultimately, it comes down to the other owners, too. You know what I'm saying?
That, too.
And, they knew Donald Sterling was going to make them lose bread, so they was like, nah, get him the hell out of here. But in this situation, even though, again, the NBA seems to have seemingly seems to have the most liberal owners, we seem to still be coming across situations with them.
Well, I'd like to challenge that point a little bit. I would argue that out of ownership that I can think of anyway, not counting your Steve Ballmers and your Mark Cubans and your Jim Dolans and whatever, like guys who are like characters and personalities in the leagues, the owners largely stay quiet for the most part. I often bitch about I'm blanking on the family name that owns the Pelicans and the Saints right now, but they both own those teams, and you can see that the Pelicans are kind of a little directionless, even though they have talent and a good team, like, on there. But, like, I've talked about this before. Bill Simmons, many years ago, on Grantland, RIP to that site. Shows you how long I'm dating myself here. Long ago on Grantland, Bill Simmons wrote this article that never, like, left my mind, which is, he talks about how ownership views their teams. I want to say it was around the Donald Sterling times, or maybe just before then, but and it might have been around the Danny Ainge kind of wilding out times when he was hopping around. He's not an owner, but, like, he was visible.
Yeah, he was making a lot of personnel decisions.
Maneuvers. You also mentioned Dan Snyder earlier, which, you know, you can bring up when we kind of, like, jump into football a little bit, but he made the point that a lot of the owners, maybe not all, but many of them, not counting the ones who have since bought different teams, I think that might have been before the Lakers owned the Warriors. He made this point that a lot of the owners are not fans of this shit. They own the team not only because of revenue and that they're profitable, most of the teams, not all, but also it's another painting to them.
It's a hobby and just something to make them look cool.
It's not even a hobby because, as we've seen, a lot of these owners don't give a shit. They don't make maneuvers that are necessary. And I understand you're a busy man. You got shit to do. Being a billionaire.
Again, it's just cool for them. Like they look cool for owning.
It's something that happens.
Franchise.
You know? And that's why I like guys like Dwayne Wade and former players now getting stakes in teams because you know they are passionate about the game.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
But these kind of like largely faceless, mostly white, mostly male billionaires are just kind of in the shadows a lot of the time. You don't hear from them really. You don't, unless you're someone who covers the beat of your team. You don't know what the owner is really about. The only people that, like I said, James Dolan, people like that, people who are visible and make themselves the center of attention, like your Steve Ballmers. But at least props to Steve Ballmer. He's an actual fan.
Yeah,
he cares about the team.
Yeah, and he understands what
he's
it takes.
involved, you know, especially since he, for some reason, bought a cursed team and wants to make that work. So, you know, props to him. Good luck to him. He's going to need it. But it's amazing how you can have like 2 top 10 players and just still flame out. But
I don't know if they both are still 2 top 10 players.
Yeah, it's been a while. But at any rate, those guys don't seem to face any scrutiny. Sarver only does because he has a reputation for cheapness. So,
and he's been outright with his bullshit, which, again, had this been 30 years ago, he'd have been all right. But now it's like, now again, like, you know, there was, I believe they said there was like at least definitely like 3 different occasions where they said, you know, he used the N-word, and his excuse was that he was just repeating what he heard from somebody else. But you know, even beyond that, there was just all types of other different dumb shit going on. I think they said there was one instance where he deadass like pulled his pants down, like, you know, in front of like a masseuse, you know, a physical therapist, you know.
Yeah, he did the Peyton Manning / Weinstein / God. So many niggas just whipping dicks out. So
yeah, just real, you know, college. I don't want to say high school antics, man. Like,
and again, this ties to the greater point I want to make in this discussion. I guess the most obvious one, which is, you know, these guys are powerful billionaires. They are used to doing whatever they want, getting away with whatever they want, buying whoever they want, buying influence, buying all these things. But even though the Phoenix Suns are a contender, that's not due to his effort or
no, it has nothing to do with him.
Besides, you know, signing the checks, I guess. But
that's it.
At least James Dolan recognized that he's enough of a piece of shit to take a step back to have people who are capable manage the Knicks. Same thing with Jordan. Even though the Hornets are imploding right now with all types of ratchet bullshit, they're at least somewhat successful behind the balls and the team they put together. Sans Gordon Hayward, did they trade Gordon Hayward yet?
Not that I know of.
Anyway, what's to be done? You know what I'm saying? Is there anything to be done? Why? I don't want to just, I guess kind of step on the topic and be like, why talk about this? But
no, why talk about it? It's
if it seems like that, like you said, slap on the wrist. Maybe that'll be the title. Slap on the wrist at the end of the world.
Slap and tickle.
Slap. That's another one. That beer. Shout out to Beer Fest. What can be done? You know what I'm saying? Because it's clear that sometimes, not always, but sometimes, these kinds of shenanigans in this culture. I also want to reference Magic Johnson when he was on the ship in the Lakers, and they were like, "Oh, he was mean to me. Magic Johnson's a dick," secretly, and all those things that were coming out. How do you minimize the effect of these things on basketball operations? I bring up the Lakers as well because they've just been kind of in the woods, seemingly at mercy to personalities and not what Jerry Buss would have wanted. And I know it's easy to just be like, well, the man is dead. They're going to do what they're going to do to make money, because ultimately that's what it is at the end of the day. As much as fans, we can whine about their actions, they're there to make money. These are somewhat profitable ventures, depending on what the teams are.
Yeah.
But why? The same complaints I've had about Vince McMahon, the same complaints I've had about Tony Khan, even though he's a little more successful recently, except for all them shenanigans are going on there. But that's another episode. Why are they seemingly allowed to fail upwards, besides obviously their money and influence, and want to run these creations that they claim to care about into the ground? Besides, rich douchebaggery, you can't. I know you can't tell these guys shit, but it's got to be deeper than that. Is it not?
I mean, like you said, man, it's culture, bro. It's culture. It's a lot of dead, poison, scar tissue that I mean, if I'm being optimistic, can be sorted through and removed, but how much scar tissue can you really remove, man?
At least the top layers.
Yeah, but
depending on how much surgery you do.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking surgery.
Or you just be Nate Diaz or Mick Foley and just walk around with that, or New Jack, R.I.P. to him. X is up.
Yeah.
And just live with it. But
it starts. Look, it's the two extremes. It's about the foundation, and it's about the head of the operation.
Right.
If either one of those are cracked or messed up, then shit ain't gonna work. Both of those have to be in tune, and both of those have to be strong.
So the question becomes then, should the commissioner have more power to do something about these things? Even though they are owners, they own the team, they have full autonomy to some degree.
No.
The commissioner has to make sure that these antics don't affect the money. Ultimately, forget parody, forget entertainment, forget the product, the money. That's what this is all about, right?
They have enough power as it is. They do. Now, they do have to answer to the owners, but in regards to, real shit, they have enough power. It's not about...
All right, I don't think he doesn't have the power. I'm just saying, should he have the authority over the owners to just sort of veto them in a certain way, much in the way of a unique situation like a Donald Sterling, where you're just like, look, this is not a good look, you gotta go. That type of shit.
Yeah, the commissioner does, but again, it's a case-to-case fucking situation. So, yeah, no, Adam Silver, all right. At one point, Roger Goodell was the judge, the jury, and the executioner.
I recall.
Now he's just the judge and the executioner. There's a jury involved, and that's what the whole Deshaun Watson situation.
I'm gonna have to make him the banner instead of Russell Westbrook. I don't want to curse our page like that.
But the league judge, I believe her name is Sue Robinson. She was the one that came out with that original 6-game suspension situation. But in all reality, she only did that because this situation was a little unprecedented. There wasn't any real parameters or any real blueprint for how to go about this shit.
Right.
So in that situation, she was like, all right, I don't have the proper evidence to really, you know what I'm saying, throw out this crazy suspension, whatever. So what she really did was she threw out that 6-game suspension knowing that Roger Goodell could, and the league, the NFL, could appeal that shit, which ultimately led to the 11-game suspension, and here we are. So Roger Goodell, again, he's the judge and the executioner, but now there's a jury involved to where we can
there's at least a die roll. There's at least some kind of arbitration.
Now put it like this: if outside arbitration is involved and they deem that, whatever the situation is, if they deem the shit is if there's some sort of gray area, then there could be some sort of appeal. But if it's straight black and white, no, we have the evidence.
We have it. That's
right. So on and so forth. Then the Roger Goodell, he can't do anything based upon that. But if there's any type of room to move, then he can move. And I'm guessing that's the same situation with Adam Silver. But there hasn't been any outside arbitration involved. And again, for what it's worth, that's what I'm saying. The NBA really doesn't really have too much of that.
That's why I mentioned
should some of that be involved? Yeah, it should.
That's why I mentioned the facelessness of the owner, unless you really follow these guys, because they seem to kind of wrap themselves in that. Again, not counting, exempting Mark Cuban and the Lakers and all these people. They just want to keep their businesses running, and that's it.
Just politics as usual.
I'm trying to think about this at all the angles. If you're the president of the Players Association, again, I don't understand really the depth of their powers or whatever, and you want that man out the league, do you do it as commissioner? Do you?
So right now, wait, no. Right now, you're talking about Chris Paul.
Kinda.
No, not kind of. You're talking about Chris Paul, who happens to play for the Suns.
I mean, I wasn't. Not on purpose, you know what I'm saying? He's not even the president though anymore, isn't he? I thought he's done.
Who's the president?
I couldn't even tell you. Without looking it up, I couldn't even tell you right now.
If he's not the president, that means Kyrie Irving is the president, unless they did a whole
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
If they did a whole new election, cool. But I haven't heard about anybody new becoming president.
I bet you it's the DeJounte Murray or some random ass player. Fuck it, I'm doing all their research. It could be
because you would hear about that.
That's true, but it's probably.
And look, with everything that's been going on, I doubt they voted a new president. So.
Me neither.
They may have kicked Kyrie out, but
as I mentioned in the bar production meeting, Chris Paul likes to be the leader. That's always the thing you always hear about him, first and foremost. And I wouldn't see him giving that up. Chris Paul, Jaylen Brown, and Bismack Biyombo. Look at the loop. Look at that loop. I love when that happens. Nice little callbacks. Also, CJ McCollum.
All right, I respect that. They got Kyrie the fuck up out of it.
So there's a bunch of them. And again, CJ McCollum makes sense for that.
CJ and Jaylen Brown.
Definitely.
Jaylen Brown will be the next president.
Probably.
No, he should be.
Man, that man, they really fronting on him.
Get him out of Boston.
Oh, he needs it. He needs to be on a real contender.
Come to the Knicks, baby.
Oh, it's not a real contender, but he would be nice for us though. Real nice. Put him at the 2. Oh my goodness. Or you could do him anyway. No, you could do him and Fournier. That'd be real nice.
Nah, Fournier's coming off the bench.
That's probably better actually. Wait, aren't you the guy that's always telling me that's too much money to come off the bench?
No.
Or am I thinking of Scrams? Van Dam Scrams.
I don't know who the fuck. I know I never said that shit.
Yeah, Scrams. Sorry, Scrams. Sorry, Scrams, if I'm attributing that to you and I'm wrong, but one of y'all niggas, man. Too much sports shit in my brain, but back to the topic at hand. So, I guess we've really talked enough about Sarver. Pending any real level investigation, whether internal or outside, in federal. I don't think that's going to happen, given that the man has kind of just skated on all the things he's done. And I don't want to make this man out to be a monster, unless he is a monster secretly. We'll see how that goes.
No, but, look, like they, by they, I guess I'm talking about media and whoever really has went through and handled this case. They really make it seem as if Robert Sarver is just one of those individuals that, and look, if you've had enough jobs, you've worked around individuals that they say shit that, like, again, they don't know how to read the room. They say shit not realizing that, yo, this may offend a motherfucker.
Or they don't care.
Now, look, for me,
they're straight,
again,
don't
look,
get
for
shit.
me,
Yeah.
he's a little too old and too rich, too wealthy for that. And
but
again,
to your point, if this culturally is how he's been,
now we're talking about 18 years of this shit.
Are you surprised? Again, look at Dolan, look at Michael Jordan, look at Pat Riley to go to a successful culture, and what he instills in his team, success or failure. So I don't want to say. You've
never heard anybody say Pat Riley called them a nigga.
Yeah, or showed his dick to anybody. Allegedly, showed his dick to anybody. And again, I only just bring him up because I didn't want to just focus on the negative. And he's a successful owner, despite ups and downs.
Well,
he's
yeah,
a successful
owner. Bro. First of all, Sarver and Pat Riley can never be mentioned in the same fucking context because
Pat Riley is basketball. He's in the fabric of basketball.
He has 5 rings as a coach, but he has 3 rings as an owner.
In rapid succession, pretty much. And his teams keep making it to the postseason pretty much continuously.
People want to play for his franchise.
Despite the fact that some of those teams sucked ass. They still made the postseason.
Bro, the Suns were in the fucking bottom, the deepest, darkest depths of the barrel of the NBA because nobody wanted to go there. Once Amari left, once Steve Nash left.
Once they kept switching coaches every 1 to 2 fucking years.
Steve Kerr left, son.
And he loves them. They love him.
He was the GM,
Well, they
bro.
chased him out. And again, he will admit that he made a lot of suspect maneuvers in the front office. He said that himself. However,
nobody was trying to go to the Suns.
And that's Steve Kerr. Niggas love that man.
And meanwhile, you still had Steve Nash and fucking Amari.
2 of the best players of the 2000s era. Definitely. That's not a question.
Not even that. I'm looking at it in regards to Amari.
That's not a question, because the only thing that held him back was injury.
No, that's what I'm saying. I might have put Amari in that top 75, but
over who?
I have to go through that whole list again. Several different niggas. Honestly, for me, definitely over Dame.
I mean, we've had this discussion. I feel bad because I feel like, whatever Dame fans out there think we're probably picking on him.
No,
I'm sorry, guys. He doesn't deserve to be on that list. He does not. I get it. He hit cool buzzer beaters, but chill. And
Amari affected 2 different franchises.
His trades, just rumors about him affected the league. That's how good he was once upon a time. He was the herald. Him and the Matrix and players like that. They were like the herald of what the new league has now become.
For me, it would be a battle between Amari and Clay. Honestly.
Clay.
Now, I know and Clay is more decorated, but...
It's not even about the decorations. It's about... I'm thinking about skill set and what type of players they are. Because I don't want to hold injuries against them. That's not right. But...
Bro. If he's healthy, no. Amari's the better player. Bro.
Yeah, well...
Hands down.
Fuck, man. That's so hard.
No,
because
it's not. Hands down, like, Amari's the better player.
But the way this man... Well, let's... Shit. Like, there's a bunch of topics springing from this. We'll finish this real quick. The way Clay warps the floor is astonishing. I'm more inclined to agree with you now that I'm really thinking about it because
you say the same shit about Amari in the paint, but again, Amari played during a different time.
And a different culture of the league.
But again, Amari in this era,
he be killing right now, killing.
Especially if he already had that jump shot.
Killing. They suck Bam's dick. Not that he's bad or anything, but they suck Bam's dick for doing way less than Amari was doing on one leg and one eyeball. So, I mean, like, it's just, again, I'm inclined to say Clay because of how great a two-way player he is, and again, what he's capable of. But I don't also want to just think about capability because Amari would go out there and dominate. Like, Clay is not really that player unless he's mad.
Clay's not a number one. And I love Clay, bro. Shout out to the congregation, but I've been
I know that's your fucking that's your brethren, son. Like,
yeah, but I don't mean shit, bro. I was an Amari fan way before he came to the Knicks, man.
Me too. What a shame what happened to that man. I wish he had kind of just rested up and came back around now because then he wouldn't have those additional miles playing for Israel and other basketball and stuff like that. What could have been, man? So good. But in going back to this owner discussion, I feel like this is also an issue with Mark Cuban and people like that, even though, and he's had similar allegations leveled at him. I guess I just keep asking the same question, like, what can be done, like, about culture? Like, what can be done if it's affecting the game and the bottom line, more importantly? Who can intercede? Beside, I guess, the player association, other owners, etc., Adam Silver, like, what can get through to these people, if anything? And if it's nothing, then I guess it's nothing, but...
I mean, look, a short leash and them losing money.
But that doesn't even seem to matter either.
No, it does. Them losing money damn sure does.
I mean, I guess you're right. And using my earlier example of the Pelicans, that family made sure to definitely hold on to that team. There was brief rumblings of the team moving because Anthony Davis left. So, people thought they were going to be in the woods forever. Why not move them to Seattle? Like, people want the Supersonics back so bad. So fucking bad.
Yeah, I was fully in the camp of taking the Kings to Seattle, but shit, till this day, because they're not doing anything out there with him anyway.
Hot Rod wasn't with it though. They had to build that new arena. What was that one that used to be out there? Arco?
What, no, Sacramento?
Yeah, that's Arco Arena,
yeah.
right? So no, they had to build that new arena, and you gotta have a team to play in it.
And that's the thing, bro. They have a nice young core, so.
And they're
A
gonna
real nice young core.
And I feel like they're just gonna do what they always do, which is end up trading it away.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, then just get rid of the franchise, because nobody wants to go to Sacramento anyway.
Nah, it's already a dead zone. People will go to Seattle.
No, and the swag will be the Seattle Kings, baby.
The Seattle Kings. So I don't know, man. I feel like we're just kind of hitting up against the ceiling. I mentioned Missing Man earlier. We hadn't mentioned more updates on the investigation, which is the money that he has apparently paid out has ballooned to what, 20 mil now? Something like that? 19.5? I forget exactly what the number is.
Oh, you're talking about Vinnie Mac?
Yeah.
No, it was 19 last time I checked, but clearly, the reality is we talking, when we're all said and done, I'm not going to say it's 50 mil, but...
That's not a bad guess.
No, I would say somewhere in between like 35 to 40.
Not a bad guess. This man has clearly shown that he cannot control himself. And again, culture. He had been getting away with it for so long because people look at wrestling as this. I made this point before. Like, people look at wrestling as this sideshow carnival thing. So up until relatively recently, not just Vince McMahon, a lot of people were getting away with their crimes. A lot of people. Because of the nature of the business.
That era, man.
Yeah. And I'm glad that seems to be kind of going away a little bit. But also, how do we hold... I guess that's really the question I want to ask. How do we hold these people, like, accountable? Because they can seemingly just pay all the fines and wait out the suspensions and do this and that and just say, oh, I'm sorry, and I didn't know that my statements or my actions, had any weight like that.
The reality is you don't. Unfortunately, that's a real reality check. You don't, because what can you do based upon them and their lineage and history and money paid based upon their resumes
and who you know and all these things and
it doesn't start with them. It starts with the tail end of that and what you do based upon that. So it's not about them, it's about, I guess, 2, maybe 3 generations after them and what we do based upon that.
Assuming that that culture isn't continually reinforced and passed on into those 2 or 3
That's what I'm saying, though.
after.
Like that's where you start. You start with the youths. You know what I'm saying? Like, the culture may still be installed, but at the same time, bro, that's just, and it's funny and it's ironic, but it's cool at the same time. Like I said, when you go through like Park Slope and fucking like Carroll Gardens, and I'm just naming different hoods, and well, they're not hoods, but different areas in Brooklyn where, like, even like this was like maybe like 10 years ago, but you would go through and you would see like these little white kids having like West Indian nannies, and it's funny, but at the same time, that shit is cool because regardless of anything else, those old ass West Indian women are gonna make sure them little white kids know what the fuck is up. They're gonna make sure them little white kids know how to act in public. So just that little piece of what we call culture or culture mix-up is helping like the whole. The grand scheme, so macro, you know what I'm saying? That micro part is helping the macro, you know what I'm saying? And we need more of that, you know what I'm saying? We need more of that intertwining and that mixing up. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's happening in a way. A lot of ex-players, and I guess this is the question I had a little while ago. I just wanted to sit on it because I didn't want to interrupt you while you were preaching. Do you think, I mentioned, part owners like Dwayne Wade who owns some of the Utah Jazz, right? Yeah, Utah Jazz. And guys like Justin Timberlake, not that I expect a guy like Justin Timberlake to have a say, but he does own part of the Grizzlies. Do you think outside owners like that who do have influence, power, etc., do you think that's a way to kind of be the reason that things are changed? It seems like, I don't want to just put it on Dwayne Wade as like buying a piece of the Jazz or whatever, but it seems like the Jazz are trying to revamp now because the way they've been doing things in the last 4 or 5 years, despite their success, is not working. So...
No, because they aren't the majority owners. They're just the celebrity owners.
Yeah, the minority, they got a slice. I mean, Shaq has a slice in the Kings. I don't know if he sold that. Do you know?
I haven't heard anything about that, but...
Well, let's assume he still has it. Again, I'm sure he's done work. I'm sure he's talked to people. I don't know what he's done in terms of work with the team he used to call the Seattle Queens. But,
Sacramento Queens.
Seattle Queens. They're going to be Seattle soon enough.
Hopefully.
I'm trying to manifest that, except they'll be Seattle Kings. But, yeah, like, he's a guy as an all-timer, one of the greatest players ever. Not that I expect him
He
to
also
be...
owns Papa John's now. I may start ordering from them again.
Nah, that pizza's gross.
I didn't say the pizza, but...
Oh, the food's okay. The non-pizza food's okay. I guess there goes our sponsorship. But yeah, like there has to be some level of solution. Like it can't just be like, all right, we just have to wait for the owners to die and then that's it. And
no, like I said, like honestly, at this point, you have to start. I'm not trying to quote Drake, but you gotta start from the bottom. You have to start from the foundation and then build shit up. Because I don't know any franchise that has a weak foundation but strong management. Yeah, it's damn near impossible.
Yeah, that pause was for real, y'all. I really tried to think of it.
It's impossible for you to succeed with that.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore. The ABA is gone. Teams like that are gone. Vancouver, the Grizzlies aren't in Vancouver anymore for a reason, Besides the fact that...
they definitely should be... Look, if they wanted to move the Kings to Canada, I'll be all right with that, too.
There's been rumblings about that.
Canada, they deserve at least another team, man.
I mean, their fandom in basketball and the NBA is huge.
They do that shit out there.
They're about it. So,
and they do football out there. Well, as we know it, American football out there. But we should definitely get an NFL team out there too. But
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, because they're talking about putting a fucking NFL team in the UK, and I'm like, so you're gonna skip fucking Canada and go to Europe? Well,
a place you only play in like twice a year.
And don't get me wrong, sometimes those European games do.
They be popping.
They be alright.
That's not. I mean, I get it. Their logic is the logic of Triple H and Vince McMahon. They're trying to expand into markets that they haven't before.
I remember when NFL Europe was still something, and those games would be all right.
Exactly. So I'm not mad at
Hamburg and fucking I think it was only like 6 teams, but listen, that's how Kurt Warner got his shit popped.
And look at him. Look at what happened to him.
He has a movie now, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Shout out to Kurt Warner. So yeah, I don't know. It's just very disheartening that these franchises, from the Phoenix Suns to the WWE, even though Vince has been forced to step down.
And they're the Commanders now, but the Redskins.
Formerly the Redskins. No offense to our native listeners.
Well, I am Native American, so therefore.
There you go. You're part of delegation.
Yeah,
Let your mans know, but yeah, like it's
fuck Dan Snyder.
Seriously, fuck Dan Snyder.
And fuck Brett Favre.
Oh man, allegations came out that nigga yesterday, son. Holy shit.
Look, as if sending dick pics weren't enough.
This
bro.
nigga Brett Favre is a creep, son.
Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I used to really hate the Packers, and I didn't understand why until I understood who he was. I hated the Packers because of him. Like, once Aaron Rodgers took over, I didn't I was alright with the Packers, bro. This dude is fuckboy number 3. So.
In his fucking Wranglers. So I don't know, man. We'll see how these investigations progress. Personally,
because it's the NFL, and we will always have all types of
investigation shenanigans, stuff like that.
It's only September, folks.
Yeah, it was just week 2. But as for the A, I want Robert Sarver to fail. I always have. Even from as long as Thunder Dan, I wanted this nigga to fail because he doesn't care. Like, it's so, as a fan, I'm not even like a Phoenix Suns nigga like that, but to see a team that had so much potential so many times in different eras with different lineups.
That's the bad thing because you can't even blame him for the failures of the Suns because he took over in, I believe, 2004.
Yeah.
So the Suns have pretty much historically had shitty owners.
So
cheap owners.
Cheap, most importantly, like that's really the word there.
I would say more shitty, but
But again, cheap. Yeah. Like there were times where Phoenix Suns could have really picked up some firepower. They could have did it in this offseason. They could have picked up some firepower. They had money. They're clearly trying to move a player or two. So I know we talked about this 2 episodes ago, so I'm not gonna rehash it. But had they did that DeAndre Ayton deal, dudes would be sitting pretty right now. They would have had Kevin Durant. Fucking stupid.
Alright, but that wasn't about them. That was about the Nets.
Yeah, and I get that.
Well, the Nets and that rookie wage trade shit. So.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things like that. Again, if Toronto was willing to give up Scotty Barnes,
they could have made some sort of move. Yes.
It was there. You know what I'm saying? The fact that the Nets are willing to deal because KD was interested in playing with CP.
I don't know if I said this in one of the earlier casts, but I would have just traded DeAndre straight up for Joel.
It's not a bad deal. Philly ain't taking that, but not a bad deal.
No, you solve a lot of issues because Joel does what
they need, yeah.
And then you send DeAndre to a younger team where he can further develop and become truly the man and find himself.
Yeah. Not a
on
bad
a team
deal.
that doesn't have a lot of expectations.
And on a team that has a player who is very usage rate heavy, isolation heavy, so it works for him to be there.
Not to mention, I would prefer to see the beard in DeAndre as opposed to the beard in Joel Embiid. Because the beard in DeAndre,
or the beard in Tyrese Halliburton if that Pacer deal went through, and Buddy Hield. But yeah.
I mean, well, that's fantasy booking. Well, no, that's 2K.
No, it would have happened. It was there for the happening. Like they just fucked it up.
Well, no, it wouldn't have been the beard in fucking and Buddy. It would have been Buddy.
No, it would have been Buddy,
Ben,
Tyrese, and
fucking
DeAndre. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, well, that
it could have gone. It could have gone a couple ways. Is the point?
Yeah.
Had they just did the goddamn sign and trade. But I said I wouldn't go too into it, so it's fine. Like, it's whatever. They're gonna lose him after this year anyway, probably for nothing, and that'll be that. And you're gonna get, even though he will show up, you're gonna get a guy who's disgruntled and may not give you everything.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I would much rather see the beard in young DeAndre as opposed to old beard and old Joel.
But that, yeah, like I said, it's fantasy booking.
No,
it
that's,
wouldn't
like I said,
happen.
that's 2K booking.
Yeah, the game would take that trade, but
I mean, and like, yeah, game and oh shit, man, 2K, I would have made that shit work, but I guess just playing the game, it'd been much funner to play with them two. But, you would need that third piece, and I don't know what that third piece on Philly would be.
me neither. Me neither. Besides, like, one that wouldn't shake up the equilibrium of the team.
Matter of fact, no. All right, boom. We trade DeAndre and Cam for Joel straight up. Joel in the second round.
Oh, which Cam?
Cam Johnson.
Okay.
Definitely not Cameron Payne. No, fuck out of here.
Apparently he available, even though they say they high on him or whatever. But
well, there's a reason why he's available. No, Cam Johnson and DeAndre for Joel in the second rounder.
damn, that's it.
Now I'm not giving nobody else up on Philly. Who else can you get? Who can you afford to give up?
No one really, except Matisse Thybulle, because they're always using him as deal filler.
Even though he's
their like probably best defender or the second best defender on the team.
No, he is the best defender.
But yeah, no, he's always in rumors. They're always saying they're gonna, because people want him for obvious reasons. They want him, even though he has no offense. They want him.
And you know what? That didn't start until this dude that was on fucking the old Rockets GM until he took over, son.
Daryl Morey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of that talk started until this nigga showed up, son.
Well, that's a guy, I feel like he just makes moves to make it. He's kind of high off his own farts, you know what I'm saying? Niggas been sucking him off for years. I mean, I get it. He had success. He got the ring. I get it. But, like, some of these moves is wild suspect that he be making sometimes, and I don't get why they allow him to do so.
See, now, there's 1,000 questions I want to ask right now, but the season hasn't started, and shit, the preseason hasn't even started, so y'all won't get that. Stay tuned for that NHL coverage, though.
Word. Here, right, we got our new light-skinned correspondent, so it's on and popping. So.
I don't know if it's on and popping, but
Rangers fans,
Rangers
Rangers fan, let us know. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear about as far as Rangers shit. So I guess, I mean, we kind of... Is there any other example of... I guess I want to, like, harken to... Is there an example of positive ownership you can think of? I guess besides Pat Riley, who we referenced, where it kind of proves the point that if you do things, quote unquote, the right way, your team will at least be profitable.
No, and that's what I said
successful.
Earlier. Like,
I guess besides the Warriors, obviously, who turned it around.
Look, for what it's worth, that's why I said it earlier. Like, collectively, when you look at like every sports league in any sports category, the NBA does have the most liberal and I guess conscious collective of owners.
True.
They do. Now, if I say that's half of the owners in the NBA, honestly, not comfortably. I could say like half the owners are like liberal and aware and open-minded, and
I would think so.
And like the other half, they definitely still on that like that old school, old head bullshit. So for the most part, I can say the NBA they're doing a good job of, because you're never gonna totally get rid of that shit, but they have done a good job of letting motherfuckers know, like, alright, we're not dealing with that same old dumb shit no more, man. Like, we're not dealing with that old slave master fucking mentality.
At least not like super openly or publicly,
Nah, like, yeah, you gotta do some real dumb shit for them to get rid of you, and that's why like now it's still kind of surprising for these motherfuckers to still be doing the same shit. Because I guess they're trying to test those limits.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Again, especially if you're used to getting away with it.
Yeah. So but the NBA they've done a good job of that, and even though it still is the plantation, I'll give the NFL credit for kind of doing some good work in regards to that. But
Trying something at least. But of course, as you mentioned earlier in the episode, it's because again their bottom line was threatened. People really viewership really went down. Like they had to really scramble.
Shit don't change unless they losing money, man. Mm-hmm. And look, I respect that, and I respect that because I can see like a lot of times like it's not even about the money. It's more of like they're seeing like, you know what? Look, yeah, we may be losing money, but at the same time, like yo. Donald, you're bugging, you know what I'm saying? Dan Snyder, even though he still owns the fucking team, and even though he's been one of the main proponents for keeping the Redskins name, which football historians will recognize and know the Redskin name, but at the same time, regardless of them being a franchise that historically has won 3 championships, historically has had countless Hall of Famers. That's been a franchise that has ultimately just been one that's been based upon a lot of negativity and turmoil. And I guess that's why we are where we are with them. But in all reality, when you talk about the Skins, or aka the Commanders, every last championship they've ever won has kind of been surrounded by some sort of controversy. Well, maybe like the first 2, maybe not the last one back in, what was that, 91, but either way, once again, fuck Dan Snyder. Him and Jake Gruden, they allegedly led to the death of Alex Smith. There's some videos on YouTube about that. Long story short, Jake Gruden was trying to be smitten, or he was into some girl, and she had been dating and messing around with one of the running backs. I believe his name was Capri Biggs. Biggs or Giggs, something like that. But either way, long story short, this man gets sat down, and he gets sat down the same game. Alex Smith gets injured and breaks his leg, and which ultimately led to, first of all, this man losing his life, and ultimately almost losing his leg. But the football guys looked out for Brother Smith because he's a good man and he does good work. So fuck the Redskins, fuck Dan Snyder, fuck Jake Gruden. Fuck John Gruden too. I'm a Raiders fan, but fuck John Gruden
That's
too.
what I was waiting for you to get the other one.
You know what I'm saying? Even if he wasn't involved, he was involved, man. So, bro, look, they talk about all types of wild parties where they would have the. Well, first of all, let me talk about the parties. Whatever foreign cheerleaders the Redskins had, and I'm gonna use the Redskins name because fuck them. But whatever foreign cheerleaders they had, these motherfuckers would try to hold and really not give them their fucking passports until they would do like these weird sexual acts and all types of wild shit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They would talk about having like nude, like topless fucking photo shoots. Really just to appease like other NFL owners.
There you go, to your point. Covering for each other, man.
All types, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a cesspool, bro. It's that secret society shit, man. Like, and ultimately, like, that shit falls under the umbrella of the entertainment industry, man. And you know what I'm saying? That's what this discussion is really about. And shit, I don't even know how many years, boy. We talking what, 80 years of this shit now?
Yep. And
Shit
it only gets easier and easier through technology and how easy it is to pay people off and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't want to be a downer and be like, well, this stuff's just gonna happen forever, and there's nothing.
No, it's being filtered and sorted through. It's gonna take a while. And the funny thing is, the beautiful comedy about this shit is all these old ass lames they're indicting themselves. Man. They're incriminating themselves, bro. So, and that goes back to my point about having like that foundation. Once you cut the grass and the snakes will show. That's a Jay-Z lyric, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, that was him talking about Nas, bro.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
That shit had never, like, true words have never been spoken. So.
It's rough. It's rough. I want there to be new cultures in these places because I feel like overall that will help their respective sports. And again, you're never gonna get rid of everything. There's always gonna be bad apples and all the other shit that all the imagery that they align with that. But
bullshit is bullshit.
And there's always politics, and there's just so much money flowing that there's always just gonna be some bullshit somewhere. But I don't know, man. I think it, like you, I think it's doable. I think that there's a way to kind of rein in some of it. You're not gonna get all of it, but some of it.
No, it's happening. It's happening. Back in 2016, when all the Colin Kaepernick shit was starting, and when Trump was trying to go into office, the NFL was probably at its all-time low. Now that shit is ascending, not only because of the product itself or the main product, but because of the politics and the sociology of the shit and just the worldliness of it. You know what I'm saying? Is because the NFL will always be seen as the plantation, white slave owners.
Until Holda gets in there, I guess. Finally.
Even if he does.
It's the same thing. It's basically the same thing.
It's going to take a long, as long as you have college, like schools and college teams being football factories in the South, there's always going to be that plantation mentality. But at the same time, they do a lot of shit to kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like neutralize that. And I respect it.
Finally. On top of that, finally.
Well, yeah, and then they have no choice.
Seems like an excellent segue to football to me, if I ever heard one, even if it's a bit down. But yeah, I mean, I can't really think of any other, again, pending progress in these investigations, which I'm sure will happen. I got nothing else more than again, fantasy booking wise, like, it would just be easy if I just go away for a while, which is what they're doing. But I don't know, man. they were so quick to remove the black mark of Donald Sterling. I get it. They had a lot more evidence to do so. I'm just shocked in like this era of like Me Too, wokeness, whatever.
Yeah.
That they didn't really go for the throat on him. And what a lot of people have, and what we've kind of implied in this episode is that, the other owners are protecting him to some degree because who knows what skeletons they got. And so they're not trying to risk Sarver, being a petty asshole and revealing them, but also it'd be hypocritical. They realized they would hit their bottom line to expel this man, and then suddenly they find out about your massage habit or whatever the fuck, shout out to Deshaun Watson. But we'll see what we'll see. I like that the Phoenix Suns still somehow continue to succeed despite this culture. I'm eager to see what they will do next year, even though they definitely shit the bed on whatever deals that could have been made. We'll see what they do in the mid-season, which I assume will just be dealing Campaign or Cam Johnson for something.
This is going to be a rough season for them because I would say they probably have the leadership, but they don't have the team to really, unless DeAndre Ayton becomes the MVP candidate, which he is capable of, and he should. Their team doesn't have the heart to withstand this shit.
They're also missing a dimension or two.
No,
you don't really have a
2 or 3.
You don't really have a mid-range master besides CP, and he can't do everything.
They don't. Well, I mean, they didn't lose that much, but like offensively, they're all right, but they're missing a lot.
They're missing some stuff, which is again a testament to them because they keep overachieving despite that, which is nice. It says that.
Shit, look. I don't mean to cut you off, but
yeah.
Since we put Pat Bev and Westbrook together, you might as well put Rajon Rondo and CP3 together. Fine.
Bury the hatchet at long last.
Why not?
Might as well.
Why not?
And then
he definitely will provide what CP doesn't, especially in regards to leadership, bro.
And
because
defense.
He's a better leader than CP. Man.
And defense, and you're gonna get some fans mad with that one, but
I don't give a fuck. He is.
But he seems to be more steady, more reliable, and I feel like since they play small anyway, that backcourt and Devin Booker would be lethal. Super lethal.
Not to mention, you bring in somebody else that could elevate DeAndre Ayton's game. DeAndre and, keep it real, Rajon will elevate D-Book's game more than CP's. I don't give a fuck who cares about me saying that because it's the truth. Right?
And I mean, CP has definitely been a battery in that man's back. So
since 2016, bro, every team that Rajon Rondo has been on has been a playoff team?
I think so.
I don't know who wasn't.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100%. I don't know.
The Bulls, the Pelicans, he was on the Kings, but I think that was before then. Definitely the Lakers. He was. The Clippers should pick him up too. Who did he play for last year?
Oh fuck, I don't even know. If he was even on their research.
This dude might not even be in the league anymore. Which is fucked up, but I mean, at least he got 2 rings.
He got 2 rings that he was a big part of. It's funny, I searched Rajon Rondo, the next thing is Chris Paul in the search results.
I'll tell you.
It's hilarious. Cleveland. And then he didn't seem to play this past year.
'Cause, yeah, he's wasted in Cleveland. All right, so in other words, Phoenix Suns scoop up Rajon. So let's see what the fuck happens. Old Rajon is better than half of y'all fucking roster, man. Well,
He
not
is,
even half. Most of y'all roster.
He is, and it puts some gas into your offense, even more than you already had, which they have a lot.
Scoop
hey.
Rajon and shit. Shit, old Dwight, man. Dwight seems to be moving around.
Yeah, he's on his retirement tour.
Y'all need a backup center, and he's perfect, especially for what he gives y'all what DeAndre doesn't do, and he'll be able to teach DeAndre what he needs to know.
And not have so much usage rate on DeAndre, because I think that's
I'm tired of playing 2K right now.
Yeah. So, foosball?
No.
All right, you want to land this thing? Let's land this
what
thing.
I will say about foosball is these first 2 weeks have been very interesting. But again, you don't know what it is until, let's say, Halloween. Halloween sometime in November, you know what I'm saying? So, I think I'm 1-1 in both of my fantasy leagues, so that goes to show you what I'm talking about and what I'm dealing with. Once I'm definitely in the groove of my fantasy, and once we definitely know what the fuck is up, then we'll have some more hard-hitting analysis.
Are we doing? Is basketball fantasy happening or no?
It's too early for that. Nor am I the one that
Is the facilitator, but you know.
But I'm pretty sure it will. Last season was pretty interesting, and we'll see what's up.
True indeed. Anything else you'd like to add?
Fuck the Raiders defense. RJ Barrett is looking really good. You know, in his training videos, we'll see how that goes. Shout out to that Giants defense. Shout out to Saquon. You know what I'm saying? Mount Vernon's very own. I believe he's from Mount Vernon.
Post Black. I'm not gonna do any more on air research.
Yes. But outside of that, right now we in the best part of the year, man, sports wise.
And anticipation wise, because it's like mad speculation, man.
And look, for what it's worth, we'll see what y'all Mets are doing. They're in a real battle with the Braves. And I believe whoever wins the division makes it to the playoffs. So let's see what the Mets do. I believe the Yankees are sitting real comfortably. Shout out to Devontae Adams and Derek Carr. Shout out to Hunter Renfroe. And once again, shout out to all my Mismarks.
Let them know where they can find you.
That will be the Bandit _ light 7. Bandit _ light 7 on the gram. Stay tuned for the Bandit Rib House.
As for me, I don't have any rib houses to push, but you can find me at on Twitter, Shining Brizard or Brizzard, like Gizzard, if you prefer.
If you go to the Chinese spot.
Exactly. You can find me on the corner of cat memes and readily accessible Twitter pornography.
Right in front of the Texas, where we get that number 3 large.
With banana pudding. But yeah, man, stay tuned. We will elaborate further on these things and all the things we've talked about. I guess stay tuned for the NBA preseason preview. If there's worth anything to talk about, I guess. Besides Chet Holmgren being hurt, that's the only real
There will
development.
be. I mean, if nothing else, I'll definitely have some Knicks lore. We still have some trades that may or your man Shea Gildress is still in the mix.
Oh man, if only. Come through SGA. Even if it's just to watch you play, it'll be worth it.
I'm cool with getting him as long as I don't have to give up Obies.
I think that's doable. But they'll ask for RJ though.
Well, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll fantasy book that later, y'all. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Sell me your firstborn if applicable. And
come back for the grilled salmon.
yes, sir. See you next time, y'all.